A telephone call and emails went unanswered last week as I asked Tommy Bahama about current allegations of poor management, sex, and age discrimination. When Kimberly Doucett landed her first job with the clothing, food, and lifestyle leading giant Tommy Bahama 6 years ago as a basic web designer, she had no idea that she would be fighting to sue her employer for sex or age discrimination while trying to figure out how she suddenly became far less than the model employee that she once was. Ms. Doucett completed her harassment and sensitivity training and claims that she garnered great work reviews over the years on her way to a position as a digital design manager. And a recent statement by one of her former coworkers seems to support that notion. The source wrote a letter to HR Vice President Joan Wright. I am not aware of any written correspondence from the company in return, or I'm not sure what their investigation was in response to the letter, but the employee claims that based on her years of experience with people who directly reported to Ms. Doucett, she was thoughtful and thorough and easily one of the hardest working, most focused members of the design team. The source further states that she could see no legitimate reason for Ms. Doucett to be reprimanded or put on a performance improvement plan, and that the plan itself was a smear campaign. She went on to say that it is baffling to me that her behavior or work could have been so called into question that disciplinary action was warranted. To end up, she states, it felt like a tactic to oust her from her position and department and to make way for new management. Now, is that new management significantly younger than Ms. Doucett or male? I don't know the particulars of that yet. That's up to the EEOC to decide. But the source claims that Ms. Doucett was scared after the false performance improvement plan and felt that she would not be heard by anyone in the company. And the source further claims that Mike Eustace, her manager, Ms. Doucett's manager, displayed a dismissive or condescending attitude toward women in general. Now, Ms. Doucett claims that she received a false performance review for Mike Eustace and that the company selectively lost other favorable performance reviews of her for her work whilst constructively discharging her last month. She claims that the company did not truly have an open door policy when employee situations like hers arose. And she further claims that the company tried to force her into a standard severance package immediately after the review and that she never resigned from the company, instead taking vacation time. Now, I did see where the company policy expressly states that resignation should be in writing. Now, here at KingCast, I want to know whether or not Ms. Doucett received any reprimands prior to Mr. Eustace's arrival. Whether she received any reprimands or constructive discipline in the 6 years that she worked for the company. I know a lot of people who work for Tommy Bahama, and I'm hearing some serious allegations, so this is not the only one. Now, of course, I want to know the age and sex of all the employees in the digital design area over the past couple of years, and who received discipline, promotion, termination, etc., etc. And so I guess I'll have to await the findings of the EEOC on that. That could take months, obviously. This is hot off the heels, by the way, of another case I'm following. This is an action filed against Big Five Sporting Goods, alleging horrendous acts of racism at the Oak Harbor store. Now, perhaps coincidentally, Ms. Doucett hails from Oak Harbor. Small world. Anyway, I'm following both of these cases, and stay tuned for further developments. Thank you very much. KingCast, over and out.